Hey guys, good evening. Welcome back to the channel United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Hope you're all having a fantastic Saturday evening. Hope you've had a great weekend, and I hope you're all looking forward to the rest of this weekend in October 2023. First of all, do me a massive favour, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel and the community if you're new. Share the video, hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button, and remember to always remember to put a notification bell on at all times to get dedicated content right throughout the last few months in 2023 on this channel, United Red Devils 20, for more Fortnite chat, full season 4 last resort, Hogwarts Legacy, Kingdom Hearts 4, EA Sports FC 24, more previews, more match reactions, and much more brand stuff planned for the last few months in 2023 on United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. And welcome to the Premier League reaction on match day 9 of the 23-24 Premier League season between Sheffield United and Manchester United this evening on Saturday, the 21st of October 2023, finishing Sheffield United 1, Manchester United 2, thanks to a Diego Dalot wonder goal to claim the 3 points, claim the win, and get Manchester United back-to-back Premier League wins for the first time at the start of this Premier League season, which has been so far massively up and down for this football club and this team, the players, the squad, Erik ten Hag and his coaches. Thank God for Diego Dalot's goal at the end to claim all 3 points and get United over the finish line against Sheffield United. Sheffield United, I did not expect this to be a tougher game than what I thought it was going to be. I thought Sheffield United in that game were very, very impressive. I think in that first half, they were the better team. I do believe, in my opinion, that Sheffield United were causing Manchester United several big problems in that first half between Ollie McBurney and Callum Archer. That was a very, very impressive game from a Sheffield United fan point of view in that first half. I think they were the better team. I think they were dominating Manchester United. And I don't think, in my opinion, United believed that, Sheffield United were going to be a tougher opponent to face, especially they've had their start to this Premier League season, which has been 1 point from 9 games. It was a very, very tough place to go. Bramall Lane is always a very tough place to go and get points from and go and get a victory from. But I think Sheffield United in the end can hold their heads held high at the end of this game, because you only lost 2-1 and you've lost to a Diego Dalot wonder goal, which thank God Man United got the win today, because it would have been a nervous backward step under Erik ten Hag as manager of this football club, where United's Premier League season so far has been, not very consistent. It's been very up and down from the start of our first 9 games, and 15 points from 9 games is basically all we've achieved so far. I'm hoping it's going to be a bit more, but we shouldn't be scraping results 2-1 against Sheffield United. I think Man United really should have taken the game to Sheffield United. I mean, 1 point from 8 games, you would have expected Manchester United to go there and be a bit more convincing, a bit more of an attacking performance. I think we were very, very lacklustre in that first half. I think United in the end have got very, very lucky. They've got this win. I think if you could take it from a bigger point of view, a win's a win, but it wasn't nothing special. It was nothing pretty. I think Man United have scraped by again. It was the same against Brentford, and now it's the same against Sheffield United. But we are conceding too many goals. We need to start keeping a bit more clean sheets. Defensively, we look all over the place. I think the midfield in the first half was massively out of balance. I think the attack as well, it was very, very lethargic from Marcus Rashford as well as Anthony. And I think, going 1-0 up in the first half thanks to a lucky Scott McTominay strike that managed to roll into the back of Fodringham's net, that was the pivotal point for Man United to go and get this win today. But what annoyed me, there were so many fans and supporters in this fan base that saying Super Scott is back. Super McTominay is going to start proving people wrong. I mean, he's got the goal today. He's made it 3 goals in 2 games, which, from a balancing point of view, is a lot better from Scott McTominay. But 5 minutes, 6 minutes down the road, he's then conceded a penalty through a blatant handball when the ball, his arm is in this position. The ball has hit his arm blatantly, and it's a blatant penalty. And I don't know what Scott McTominay's thinking as his body positioning and his body stance, that he's got his arm out here. The ball has hit his arm massively, very clear to the eye, very clear to see. VAR checked it. Michael Oliver checked it as well. It's a clear Stonewall penalty. That gets Sheffield United back in the game, and the confidence goes up and the United players' heads drop. I think if McTominay is going to take any criticism, he should not be having his arm in this position where a potential penalty can be given away and for United to concede a penalty. I don't know what Scott McTominay's really thinking of having his arm in that position. if you're a footballer and you know that if the ball hits your arm with your hand, it's going to be given as a penalty, and it is a Stonewall penalty at the end of the day. There's no debate. Ollie McBurney, who's gone nearly 9 games without a goal, has got, Sheffield United on level terms. He's got them back into the game at a potential point. Is on the cards for Sheffield United to, get this win against Manchester United. And I think the second half, if you look at that first half performance, I think Manchester United were probably given a rocket by Erik ten Hag that, the day it's been for Man United fans across the globe, across this planet, it's been a very emotional and upsetting day, obviously, following the sad passing of Sir Bobby Charlton. I mean, absolute legend, icon, hero, master, inspiration to every Man United fan and supporter across this planet and across the globe. I don't think Sir Bobby Charlton would have been proud of that. I think it was a very, very poor performance from Manchester United, and I think they've come away with a very, very lucky win. I don't think there's nothing special about the whole United performance as a whole. I think Man United were way off the pace. I don't think Man United, paid any respect to Sheffield United. And I think, when Sheffield United have conceded nearly 14 to 15 goals in their last 4 games, 8 to Newcastle, 3 to Fulham, 3-2 to West Ham, and then 2 against Tottenham, it should be very, very lucky that Man United, they should have gone there with their goal-scoring boots on. And I don't think it was there today. I don't know why. It just looked very, very un-United-like. It looked very lethargic in the first half. I don't think there was any energy. I think the team looked absolutely knackered. I think the team looked tired. It just did not look like a Man United performance that was going to give you any momentum or positivity or confidence that they're going to come away with Bramall Lane with any points. It was a very, very bad performance in the first half. Sheffield United were absolutely battering the hell out of that back four. And I mean, if that back four is a big problem, so is that midfield and so is that attack. I think every position in that United team is getting very, very concerning. United just don't seem to have the depth, the quality to be able to come away with a convincing performance that, as a Man United fan, as a Man United supporter, that you're going to be really proud of. I think in the end that if United are going to keep scraping the barrel, could you imagine what's going to happen against Man City and Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool and Spurs when we've got all of them to come in October and November? It's going to be a very, very difficult next set of fixtures. And I think Man United today have got to count their lucky stars that they've come away with the 3 points, because I think if this game ends in a draw, it's 13 points from 9 games. And it's still not very convincing. It is still very, very boring, Manchester United. And the amount of goals we are conceding is going to be a bloody concern for Erik ten Hag. I think you can see it. I think you can see the frustration. I think you can see the anger. I think you can see a lot of bad signs are coming towards this team. I think there's a lot of bad signs coming towards the performances. I don't think these players are stepping up. I think Man United are just trying to scrape the barrel again. And for me, as a Man United fan, as a Man United supporter, that ain't bloody good enough. I mean, the possession stats in that first half, it was a balance between Manchester United and Sheffield United. Man United should be dominating possession with a 70% margin at least. And when it's 50-50 balance between both clubs, it is an absolute disgrace. I mean, it is an absolute shambles. That United should be playing better than that. It's not Manchester United. It's very, very lethargic. And I don't think the football's improved. I think United got by last season, having a very lucky and fortunate season. And I think season 2, Manchester United have been found out. I think every team we're playing at the moment recognises Man United. They know how to break them down. They know how to cause team problems. And teams are going to do it. I think any more bad performances like this, then you've got to start questioning the selection. You've got to start questioning the lineup. And I think you've got to really start questioning, like, what the hell is going on behind the scenes in training? Because in training, it must be all sunshine and roses. But when it comes to the turf of a football pitch, it looks nowhere near. And I don't know why United, from training to the game, it looks very, very unlike us to be able to perform or step up. I don't know if these players are afraid or they're scared, or they just don't want to give their all, because in season 2, they don't really need to try or put any effort in. It just didn't look like these players were up for the task, and maybe not showing any respect to Sheffield United caused those players' morale and confidence drop, because they're probably thinking, like, Newcastle have put 8 past them. Maybe we can put 9 or 10 past them. That is what should have happened, in my view and in my opinion. Manchester United should be going to teams like Sheffield United and putting them away, putting them to the sword, and coming away with a very, very convincing clean sheet and or a 4 or 5-0 margin win. But at the moment, I think Manchester United, there's a lack of ideas. I think there's a lack of consistency. I think there's a lack of energy. I just don't think these players are trying. I think, at Man United, you really should be putting in, 110% effort. And I think Ollie McBurnie and Callum Archer are going to be two good strikers of Sheffield United, as well as Ryan Brewster as well, who's been a very, very good purchase, but has struggled with really, really bad injuries, has missed mainly the whole Premier League season. 9 games already has gone for that football club in Sheffield United. He's missed 9 clear games, and I think it showed today, but he did make an impact as soon as he came on. He had that shot saved by Onana. That could have gone in, and Manchester United would have been 2-1 down. And Sheffield United, they could have won the game. They easily could have come away with that game with a draw. They could have come away with a win. And yet again, it's ended in defeat. I'm not surprised, because I don't think Sheffield United have got the firepower. I don't think they've got the players to be able to get them out of this. I think we all deep down know that they are going to get relegated. They're going to go straight back down to the Sky Bet Championship at the first attempt, and they're not going to come back up again. And I think the problem is at Sheffield United, you look at their injury problems, Chris Basham, and now Ollie McBurnie went off in the second half injured as well. And I think that was a positive sign for Man United. But with the quality we do have in this team, you would have thought, I'm not saying our back four's quality. I think our back four is absolutely shambolic, by the way. I don't think our back four can stand there and be applauded for what it is. It was very, very shaky. I mean, you've got Johnny Evans, Victor Lindelof, Diego Dalot and Harry Maguire all playing at the back for Man United. That is not going to fill you with confidence that United are going to be able to keep clean sheets. And I think, that back four is missing Luke Shaw. It's missing Malacia. I mean, even Sergio Reguilon, again today, is still out injured. Yeah, again, he's back in training, though, so I couldn't justify why Reguilon didn't start for Man United tonight. I was very, very puzzled and very, very confused that if he's back in training and he's back in the team, he really should be in that starting lineup today. There is no excuses for Reguilon not to be playing at left back today in a Man United shirt. We look very, very unbalanced in our back four. And there's a lot of people who say our back four is very, very balanced. Well, if you're looking at from the performance, McAtee on loan from Man City was frightening the shit out of Victor Lindelof. The amount of times he got past Lindelof is frightening. I'm not surprised by that. I think Lindelof is a bang average defender at best. I don't think he's very good. I think he's been a bad signing when Mourinho was allowed to sanction it. And for me, he needs to be moved on. I don't think he's got any body presence. He hasn't got much strength to hold off a physical and an attacking player like McAtee. And I think also, Harry Maguire, the first 5 or 10 minutes again, absolutely shocking. I mean, Harry Maguire, how he got in that team today has to be called out. It has to be questioned. I think today, defensively, he's all over the place and he's conceding stupid free kicks in the first 10 minutes. I mean, as a versatile centre-back with height and strength on your side, Harry Maguire really should be putting a shift in to defend that back four and to defend Onana's net from conceding a goal. I don't think he does it. He's not doing it, and he ain't very convincing. Johnny Evans as well. I did say this about Johnny Evans. The only reason why Evans is in this team, he's in this back four, he's playing consecutive games for Manchester United, is the pure fact that, in the end, Johnny Evans is only at this club because Man United would not let Ten Hag sanction a centre-back signing unless Maguire was told to go. That move fell through to West Ham, and this is why Johnny Evans is here. Johnny Evans is only at Man United on a free because Maguire refused to go. That is the deep down truth. I think we all know it, but yet again, Johnny Evans is very, very vulnerable at centre-back. I mean, age isn't on his side, fitness isn't on his side, and yet again today, another bloody injury. We've lost Johnny Evans again through a knock. He's had to be brought off for Raphael Varane, and that was very confusing and puzzling as well, that you've got a World Cup winning centre-back on your bench that has been back in training, fit, fully ready to start, and he's been left on the bench. I think, Ten Hag has looked at this game today. He's looked at that back four and he's probably thought, this back four is going to get me through today. We'll get the win. We'll get the 3 points and everything is going to be okay. And we'll come away with the win. I think apart from that, Man United are going to have to look at that performance as a whole and start questioning that it wasn't pretty. It was very, very boring. And it was very, very lucky that we found the goal in the end to win. But I wanted Varane back in that team. Maguire and Lindelof or Johnny Evans should be nowhere near that back four. And it's pathetic now that we are relying on rejects that Ten Hag doesn't want. And I think in the end, it's going to cost us. And I think it is. You've conceded 2 goals in your last 2 Premier League games. You have won both your games, thank God, due to late winners. But at the end of the day, you should not be letting Sheffield United dominate you, who are 1 point from 9, going to go down again, get relegated. And, the stats don't tell a lie. Sheffield United were all over us. And it is embarrassing. It is very, very puzzling why that we are letting the smaller teams dominate us and taking the game to us, where on paper, United should be putting them away. It's very, very easy to tell where the problems are at this football club. And as a whole, that there are a lack of ideas. There's a lack of intensity. There's a lack of goal line clearances. There's a lack of defending. There's a lack of physical ability in that midfield, which was getting walked over in the first and in the second half. The attack. I mean, I think every position in that United team, it's very, very worrying that the quality isn't there to be able to take this team till next season. This team needs a lot of improvement. It needs a hell of a lot of work. And we need some of these injured players back. Like, we are badly missing Lisandro Martinez. We're missing Varane. We're missing Reguilon. It doesn't surprise me. It really, really doesn't surprise me that we are in this situation, relying on our injured players to get back in that team, to get back in that lineup, because that team is missing them. Lindelof at left back is a bloody disaster. I think that showed on paper today. You have McAtee up against Victor Lindelof. McAtee, like I said, was dominating Lindelof, and McAtee, is a very, very good Man City youth player, has shown why he can be a great player for the future. And I think he showed it in a Sheffield United shirt. He was frightening Lindelof for the shits. It was like having the runs, and it just keeps coming out and out and out. And McAtee was causing Lindelof several big problems. And I think that is why, if you would have had a proper left back at left back today, we would not have had that problem. And the problem is we don't have those solutions. Like I said yesterday on Wednesday on the preview, I think it was Wednesday, can't bloody remember. I think if you look at the preview, like I said, Wan-Bissake, long-term injury. Luke Shaw, long-term injury. Malacia, long-term injury. We've not even got Reguilon. But if Reguilon was fit, I have to question, if he was fit enough to train, he should be really fit enough to start. I know it's a risk putting an injured player straight back in the team, but if you're looking at it on paper, what is best for the team and the best for the result? You need to be putting these players back in. They've got to start playing through the pain barrier, in my opinion. We need to start doing it, because if we're not going to do it, there's no point these players being here. And like I said, Reguilon is our best left back. There is no debate on that. Reguilon is better than Luke Shaw. He's better than Malacia, and he doesn't have long-term injuries. Yes, he's been out of an injury for 2 or 3 weeks, but it's only a little injury that has affected Reguilon, but it's kept him out. But on Reguilon's side, he's got age, he's got versatility, he's got ability. Luke Shaw and Malacia, I said, we could do with both of them back. We both really do need them back, but they are both massively injury prone. And I don't understand why Luke Shaw was given a new contract. He doesn't deserve it. Malacia shouldn't even be at this bloody club, injury prone. And the same goes for Wan-Bissake. Yes, Wan-Bissake and Diego Dalot are both right backs, but both aren't good enough. I know Dalot's got the goal, and thank God he found that to get it, because we desperately needed back-to-back wins, and we needed the 3 points there. And United have to thank Dalot, but they also have to kind of thank Lindelof, because he did find a pass in the end to lay it off to Dalot to take it. I thought the shot he had on goal was going over the bar. I thought, that ain't going in. That's going over the bar. There's another chance squandered to win the game. But, Fodringham's position, he's got his hands here, and he's actually palmed it into the top left-hand corner of his net. So he really, from a body strength position and the position of a goalkeeper, Fodringham, who's an ex-Rangers reject, who has gone to Sheffield United to try and get first-team football and to be a good goalkeeper for the club, his positioning's all wrong, because he's misplaced on his feet, and he's have to dive. He's dived really, really late to go and try and save the Dalot shot, but it's because it's too late. The Dalot shot has managed to clinch into the top corner, and it's a very good goal from Dalot, by the way. I mean, he even had to check his pulse to make sure that that goal was going in, and to make sure that he was still on this planet, to basically think that that shot's actually gone in. But Fodringham's body position, there has to be question from a Sheffield United fan point of view that he's not a very good goalkeeper. And I think that is why Sheffield United are conceding way too many goals. But the injury problems don't help. I mean, the injury to Chris Basham, I'm not a Sheffield United fan, but I think everyone in the football world and the football community wishes Chris, the speedy recovery and the horrific injury he suffered against Fulham 2 weeks ago before the international break. It's a very, very bad injury he's got. And from a Man United fan, I wish Chris Basham all respect and love he deserves, and I hope we'll see him back on the pitch soon. But at the end of the day, you would have thought Man United would have dominated this game. You would have thought Man United would have gone for it today and gone for the jugular. But it just looked very, very unlike Man United. And that does concern me that I'm happy we've won. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy we've got the points and we've won on this weekend. And we've got back-to-back Premier League for the first time this season, which is a positive. But at the end of the day, Man United have got the firepower. They have got the players to be able to step up their performances. But why are we playing such crap football? I don't know if it's down to the treatment Erik ten Hag's given these players. I don't know if it's the handling of the Jadon Sancho and the Anthony situations, and also a certain player who's on loan at Getafe. We ain't going to mention his name because I've lost respect for that player that I didn't have anyway. I don't think he's very good and is massively overhyped and massively overrated. I just don't know why these players do not seem on board this season. It just looks like a very unlikely United team that, played very, very well last season, got away with it massively because all our rivals around us fucked up. And I think in the end, United have got to count their lucky stars, because if you wouldn't have won today and you come away with a point, we are heading into that Manchester derby. I mean, we've got Man City in our next Premier League game at home at Old Trafford, which is going to be an emotional game because obviously of what's happened today. And it will be an emotional night on Tuesday night as well against FC Copenhagen in Champions League group stage match day 3. Yeah, match day 3. So I think Man United, they can be proud of they found the winner, and thank God they had to find a winner, because any drop points from now is a massive negative. I think if United would have come away with a point today, that ain't bloody good enough. I mean, the stats don't lie. Sheffield United were battering them, and it's embarrassing. You shouldn't be going to an away promoted team who have been shit all season, 1 point from 9, and you're letting them batter you. Like, United should have taken the game, and I don't know why they didn't do it. Maybe it was a sign of nervousness or not a lack of respect towards their club or their team and their players and their manager or the coaches. But I think Man United, they would try and probably think, well, if Newcastle can score 8, we can score 9 or 10. I think that is why the performance did not go the way we thought it was going to go. But I looked at that lineup and I thought to myself, I don't expect United to come away with anything. And I know we saw McTominay in there. Don't know why he started today. But I think, the only reason why Scott McTominay is starting is because of his 2 goals against Brentford. I think that's the only reason why I can imagine Ten Hag's picked him. I would not have picked McTominay, and I don't think I'll be picking him again. He has scored the goal to get us in the lead. Justified. But to concede the penalty through him as well. I did say this about McTominay. He is very unreliable and is not going to get this club anywhere with performances like this. And yet again today, it showed in that game. McTominay was bloody dreadful. And it is very embarrassing that, he only gets in that team because of 2 goals against Brentford. That, yet again, this is going to be a papering over the cracks performance. There is nothing to it. This is papering over the cracks. And I don't think it's justified. I don't think it's good enough. I think it's unacceptable. United should be scoring more. We should be keeping clean sheets. We should not be conceding goals. We should not be picking players that Ten Hag doesn't want. But I don't. Yeah, that's the reason why I think McTominay's in that team. I think if he wouldn't have scored those 2 goals against Brentford and we lost that game, he wouldn't have been started to pick today. I think for me that midfield lacked a lack of energy. I mean, I think I've said a lot about Mason Mount. I said a lot about Eriksen. And I think when Eriksen came on, there was more energy. I think when Mount came on, there was a lot more energy through that midfield. I think it was a very, very lethargic midfield. I think, Fernandes, again today, very frustrating performance, very, very frustrating with the ball, does too many ambitious things that don't happen. I don't know why his performances have dropped off a cliff. I can't understand why they have. He just doesn't look like the same player I thought Bruno Fernandes was going to be. And that's very frustrating because he's one of our best midfielders I think this club's ever had. I think he's a very, very good player for this football club. But at the end of the day, that it's becoming a bit frustrating that Fernandes isn't producing what we all want him to. And I think Bruno Fernandes, from a bigger point of view, he can do a lot better than that. I think Fernandes is having a lot of bad games. And I think he's only in the team because he's the captain. Again, I wouldn't give him more than a 3 or 4 today. I think he was very, very frustrating whole game. And I think this is why Manchester United really, really struggled to get over the line. I think, you looked at a midfield three. If Fernandes is out of form, he should be being selected. If McTominay is out of form, should be selected. I think the only one that can hold their game high in that midfield would probably be Amrabat. And I think, Amrabat didn't have his best game. I'm not going to lie. But at the end of the day, that CDM position looked a lot more secure with him in it than without him. And I think that is what helped Man United today. And, what hasn't helped, and I think why we struggled all game, there is one missing ingredient in that team that did not play today, and it's Casemiro. Without Casemiro in that team, we look all over the place in that midfield. I mean, I can't believe how crap we actually look. And a lot of people say Casemiro is overhyped, overrated, doesn't do a job for United, overpaid for him, doesn't produce a performance, and Man United keep using him as the scapegoat to get out of good performances. Without Casemiro in that midfield, we look at 6s and 7s because the opposition are running through that midfield freely and no challenge is happening to stop them. And I think that's a big, big problem. There is no challenge being able to stop them from that midfield being all over the place. Without Casemiro, United look all over the place. It's an absolute sinking ship. And I think that is why we didn't play the football we wanted to play today, because we've never really missed Casemiro in the midfield. We always are used to having Casemiro available to us when we need him. But yet again, a pathetic and embarrassing and quite frankly useless international break has caused another one of our players to be injured, has got an ankle injury. That doesn't help. And I think that is why United are suffering in performances. Without Casemiro, United go to shit because that midfield is secured. Casemiro protects that back four and he can break away with the front two and Fernandes in either Eriksen or Mount. Let them break away and support the front three. I think, yet again, Casemiro needs to be in that team. We are not going to have him Tuesday night. Remember that when we do the FC Copenhagen preview tomorrow afternoon, so look out for that as well. We are not going to have Casemiro available for that game because he is suspended. He got sent off against Galatasaray on match day 2 of the Champions League group stage. So Casemiro for these next 2 games, we are going to have to hope he's fit for next weekend because we've got bloody Man City. So we are going to need Casemiro fighting fit for then. He's going to have to come back and be fit because if Casemiro is not in that United midfield on next Sunday against City, it's going to be a long, hard game because I think, Man City are going to come to Old Trafford after a very important win over Brighton. And they're going to come to Old Trafford and they're going to look at that performance today at Bramall Lane from Manchester United and they're not going to be scared because that United team just doesn't look like a team. It looks like an un-United team. It doesn't look like the squad's together. It doesn't look like the players are together. It just looks like we're playing as individuals again. And I think that's wrong. Look, as a group of players and as a team of players who are paid ridiculous amount of wages a week, you really, in my opinion, should be performing out of your skin to show that you're a Man United player. And I don't think they're doing it. I don't think these players, I think maybe the players are too scared that if they go over the top, they may injure themselves and may cause themselves injury and they don't want to overdo it just in case they're out of the next game because I think a lot of these players' futures are on the line today. I think that front three, I think the only positive again today was Højlund's movement, Højlund's strength on and off the ball and the way he can hold the ball up. I think yet again that was the only positive out of that attacking front three, that we've actually got a world-class striker up front who can put the ball in the net. And yes, he didn't score today, but I think for me, he was mainly our biggest threat up front. I think if he would have taken that chance before half-time, United go into the second half 2-1 up, find a third goal, kill the game off, or maybe find a fourth and get the 3 points secured. That game could have been a bit more convincing if the service to Højlund would have been better because we've got an inconsistent Marcus Rashford. We've got an unfit and, for me, doesn't even look ready to play in Antony. And I think that's a big problem from today as well, that you've got Antony and Rashford that are both out of form, look massively unfit, and don't even look like they want to be there. That's a cause concern for me as well. Personally, I don't think Rashford should be in that United team. I think, again, today, Rashford looks miles off it. And there's people hyping up his England performance and hyping up that goal. And he did take it well against Italy. I get that. But today for Man United, he's trying to be a world beater and do everything on his own. He shouldn't be doing that. He needs to be playing as a team. This is not about individual FC. This is about fighting as a team and winning together. And for me, Marcus Rashford just doesn't look like the player he was last season. And I do question again, is he carrying an injury? Is he? Because if Marcus Rashford doesn't want to try and doesn't want to go over the top and try and put in a performance that's justified, he shouldn't be in this team. For me, Rashford deserves to be dropped. I'm sorry, but I was not convinced by his performance today. I think his attitude stinks. I think his commitment isn't there. I think his desire to do everything on his own is selfishness. I just don't think he looks like the same player to me. I think he looks bang average, massively off the core of players we've got, and doesn't look like he wants to try. And I think that's a concern because the first half, frustration, he gets a free kick and he blazes it over the bar. I mean, this is typical, isn't it? That we've got players that are overhyped, overrated, but yet can produce moments of magic, and that ain't happening. I think if Rashford was being dropped today, I think United might have won that game a lot more, because I think, Garnacho's a better player than Marcus Rashford. I think, Antony on his day can be a better player than Marcus Rashford, but I think even Antony, who, has had personal problems when he's had to go back to Brazil and deal with, and, he's still facing some severe problems behind the scenes in his own personal situation, but he doesn't look like fit to play. He doesn't look ready fit to start. And I think, yet again, Antony's only in that team because Erik ten Hag knows him. He's used him at Ajax. He's had him at Ajax, and he's played for him under ten Hag when he was Ajax manager. But in the end, the only reason why Antony's starting is because of the Jadon Sancho situation, because Ahmad is still injured. Hasn't got Ahmad. For me, clearly doesn't rate Pellistri very much. And I think I've been saying this for years. Pellistri ain't the answer. And there's so many people that hype Pellistri up thinking, wow, look at the player we've got. Look at the player we've got available for us. And look what he could do on that wing. Pellistri has had way too many opportunities this season to prove himself, and it hasn't worked. This is why Antony's being played on the right wing, because he's got a left foot and maybe can do something magical. That today was a bang average performance for an 85 million winger we brought from Ajax. Has that worked? Has that worked? You have to question it. And I don't know why he is performing the way he is, but maybe he shouldn't even be back. Maybe Ten Hag needs to say to him, look, if you've got more going on, you need to go and deal with this, because we can't have you affecting the team's overall morale and stability that we're trying to achieve. And that if you're not ready, fit, and you're not mentally and physically ready to be back playing in United shirt, you need to just speak up, because I don't want players underperforming at this club. I want these players to be playing out their skin. And I think today, I don't think these players were. I just think it was a very, very, very underwhelming performance. I think the whole game as a whole, Sheffield United were the better team. And I think every United fan supporter has got to hold their hands up. It was very, very underwhelming. It was very bang average. That isn't good enough. You need, as a Man United player, you're representing the club, the fans, and the supporters. If you're not ready to step up, lads, then you have got some big issues to start dealing with, because I don't want these type of performances against the top six, because we're going to get battered. And yes, we've come away with an unlikely Diego Dalot wonder goal, but thank God Dalot was in that team to find that goal, because if you look at the rest of them, Garnacho weren't going to find it. I don't think Fernandes would have found it. Rashford would have found it. I don't know how Rashford played 90 minutes, by the way. And I don't understand why Højlund didn't either. I think, again, some of the substitutions, I mean, what the fuck are we using Martial for? He's been told he can go in January and we're going to try and offload him. Why the hell are we using him? He is not the answer as the backup to Højlund. He is not the bloody answer. And people think, well, what's Ten Hag meant to do? Go and get another striker in January to help back Højlund up, because Højlund's having to start every game now. Is anyone noticed? He started against Brentford, Galatasaray, and now Sheffield United. Is there any surprise why he's starting? No. Because Ten Hag does not rate Martial. Martial's crap anyway and is massively injury prone. That's the reason Martial ain't starting. Is because he ain't bloody good enough. He should not be at this club still. They should have sold him in the summer. And we didn't do it. If you would have brought another striker in that could help void the void Højlund might not have, or if Højlund gets injured, we're fucked. Højlund gets injured, we've got no physical threat up front, we've got no one who can hold the ball up, and we've got no one who's got the strength or the body or the muscle Højlund's got, because he's turning those back four inside out. He's causing problems. If you don't have that in team, where's our answer then? Because you've then got no Sancho, no Ahmad, Palestra ain't good, and then you've got no Højlund. So you're basically then stuck with Anthony, Garnacho, Sancho, and Anthony, Rashford, Martial, and Garnacho. Rashford can't play down the middle. That's been figured out. So I think for me, that was a surprising sub. I would have let Højlund play all 90 minutes, but maybe, Ten Hag is going to unleash Højlund Tuesday night when we play Galatasaray, because that's a bloody must-win game. That is a must-win game on Tuesday night, because if we don't get that win and we don't get those 3 points, we are basically out of the Champions League and we're back without no European football. We might not even get into the Europa League. Let's hope we don't, because that would be a disaster being back playing Thursday night football. I couldn't think what's fucking worse. So let's see what happens there. But I think United as a whole today, I just think the whole team, it just didn't look united to put in a performance that we're all expecting, we're all wanting. I just think in the end, Man United have won the game and they've got the 3 points, but you've got to start thinking, what's the long-term plan? What's the long-term vision? And where do we go from here now? Well, we need to be a bit more consistent. We need to start scoring a few more goals. And really, in my opinion, we need to start playing better. I think football's got worse. And I know I thought it was good last season, and it was good because we won the Carabao Cup. We got top four. We got back in the Champions League. But apart from that today, at times that game, I was thinking, I want to switch this off, because it just looked like, wow, this is Man United now. This is our football club. This is Manchester United style of player. Thinking, I do trust Ten Hag, and I'm 110% behind this manager. But that team just doesn't look like that team's willing to fight. And if that team's not willing to fight, then half those players need to be told, you need to go. Because I think if you put a bunch of League Two players in, playing for Man United, they would give you the performance they're looking for, because they would be honoured to play for the club and the shirt and represent the badge. And they would want to represent Man United on a high level. I think if you would have done that, that team would have won by more today, because Sheffield United are a poor team. They've got a lot of injuries, which is no excuse. They should still be able to find something. But like I said, I think if you're a Sheffield United fan, you've got to be thinking, God, we could have got something out of this day. And you could have. You could have got something out of this game today, and you could have got a win. You could have beat Man United and could have got your first win of the season. They would have been off the bottom of the Premier League table. You would have been above Burnley and Bournemouth, who are both shit anyway. I just think, United are going to have to look at performance again and think, you were letting McAtee run all over you. Gustavo Hamer, who was Coventry's best player in that playoff final against Luton Town, which they lost to, he was causing that team bloody problems. That back four. That back four's massively embarrassing. Like, if we're going to give anyone any credentials for man of the match now, I find it difficult. I find it really difficult to try and pick a man of the match from that game, because I didn't see anyone that deserved it. I think people probably think, well, Dalot got the goal. Maybe he's your man of the match. But again, Dalot at times, I mean, is he really the answer at right back? Really? Really? Is he really the option we need? Because if I'm looking at it, for me, it's a blatant no. I'm sorry, but the truth fucking hurts, I'm afraid, that ain't the answer for right back. And I know he's got the goal and he took it very well. if you would have done anything different with the ball, we are drawing this game 1-1 and it's finishing with a point, and both sides would have felt hard done by. But I think United are going to have to reevaluate his performances and see where the missing links are, because I think without Eriksen in that midfield, we look a mess. Mason Mount, at times, we look a mess without him. McTominay ain't the answer. I think we all deep down know that. Casemiro is a huge miss at CDM to protect that back four. Without Varane starting and without Martinez, the back four looks at 6s and 7s. Onana looked like he was going down with an injury scare when he was stretching his left hamstring out on his left leg. And I thought, could this get any worse? It probably could. I mean, is Onana playing with an injury? Has to be questioned. Is he playing too much football? Maybe. It wouldn't surprise me if maybe he ain't playing Tuesday night. I mean, we have to play again Tuesday, so we've got Sunday and Monday to try and get this team back to full fitness, because if you lose Onana and you lose Johnny Evans, that back four's gone. The goalkeeper position, you're basically relying on Bandia to get you through that Champions League game, which is crucial. This could go badly for United in a week, because what's the back four going to be against Man City? That's my big question, because if we've got no Onana available for Tuesday and next Sunday, United are going to get hammered both nights, both games. United could come away with this week with just the Sheffield United win, and that's it. God help us if that happens, because we are going to be in a bad shit. We are going to be in a bad, bad way. We have to go to Man City. Man City have got to come to us, and we're going to have to beat them. We have to beat FC Copenhagen Tuesday night. Otherwise, we're out. This could be a bad or a good week. We don't know how well this is going to go for Man United, but the injury problems we need to get sorted. We need Reguilon back. We need Casemiro available for next Sunday. He ain't going to be available Tuesday. He's suspended anyway. We need to have that midfield a bit more secured. Eriksen or Mount has to replace McTominay. That back four, Reguilon has to come back in and get that back four a bit more balanced than what it is at the moment, because Lindelof at left back is a disaster waiting to happen. Dalot at right back, a disaster waiting to happen. Maguire and Evans, two donkeys at the back, like two donkeys on Western Beach, which is a joke. I just think as a whole, United have got to start looking as that team and where are the weaknesses. I think we all know. I think Ten Hag deep down knows. I think he knows where the problems are. Can he do anything about it? No. He is stuck with what he's got. He is stuck with a bunch of donkeys. That donkeys are making this team worse and slower. And that's the problems. The more we slow up because of the donkeys we've got, the worse situation and the longer travel we are going to have to face. And I think as a whole, when you're relying on a right back to get you the winning goal, we know where the problems are. Goal scoring up front and the wingers. Lack of goals, lack of service. And I said about the midfield as well. We're basically relying on the midfield because the front three goals have dried up. We are relying on the midfield and our defence to get us our goals. I mean, the fucking irony of that. I mean, we are relying on the defence and the midfield to get us our goals. We need to win games. It says a lot. And I think United have got to look at this in January. I'm sorry, you can't keep using financial fair play as an excuse. It is the biggest myth in football. And you can't keep using sell to buy as well. It is the biggest load of bullshit I've heard in my fucking life. And it is embarrassing. It is gone beyond sad now. You can't keep using two bollocks excuses to get away with bullshit. It's enough's enough now. Because United today have had to rely on Dalot to get the goal. And I think we're going to end up having to give him man of the match for getting United that winning moment. I mean, thank God we won the game. Thank God we got the 3 points as well. So I hope you enjoyed the reaction. Hit the like button, the share button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Share the video. Hit the tweet button, the retweet button. Always remember to put that notification bell on at all times to receive dedicated content right throughout the rest of this year in 2023. On United Red Devils 20, we've got more Fortnite coming up, more Rocket League, more EA Sports FC 24, more previews, more reactions right for the last few months of 2023. We're nearly in 2024 now, so let's try and hit that magic 4-digit number of subscribers before the end of this year. And we'll be back tomorrow afternoon. We are going to be doing the FC Copenhagen home preview for match day 3 of the Champions League group stages for Tuesday night. For United against FC Copenhagen at Old Trafford. We'll be back for that preview tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Stay safe, be nice, and be kind to each other. You're all legends. You're all legendary. Stay safe, be nice, be kind to each other, and I'll speak to you guys tomorrow afternoon, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.